Pokemon rivals. They've been hyping us up, annoying us, and occasionally traumatizing us since 1996. Some are lovable, some are jerks, and some are just there. Today, I'm going to be ranking every Pokemon rival from worst to best based on personality, battle skill, and how much they actually made me care about beating them. We're going to move through the first half of the list pretty fast till we get to the top 10, so let's just get right into it. Coming in at number 24, we have Trace. Let's just be honest, Trace from Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is just not it. He's just too nice. There's no edge, no real challenge, no big character arc, and there's nothing in his character that motivates me to want to beat him in a battle. I played through Let's Go Eevee multiple times, and I still forgot this guy existed when I was making this list. He's just overall forgettable from his basic design to lack of character development, and that's why he ended up last on this list. Number 22, we have Clara from Sword and Shield. Clara in Sword and Shield's Isle of Armor DLC has that fake, friendly, oops, I poisoned you by accident vibe. She's memorable for her sass and deception, but she's more like a mini boss than a true rival. And kind of like Trace, although I played through the DLC, I had to be reminded that this person even existed. But the character design is much better than Trace, which gave her some extra points. And number 22, we have Brendan. Brendan suffers from like the I'm too nice to push you syndrome. In Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, he's helpful, but he never really pushes you to get better. He's a good friend throughout the story for sure, but he lacks any real grit or ego that drives me to want to defeat him, which just kind of made him lack as a rival character. And 21, we have Callum. Callum in X and Y has the personality of a well-organized desk. He's fine, but he really lacks any standout moments. He's polite, efficient, and if you forgot he was in the game, you're not alone. Serena, his female counterpart rival, gets carried by her role in the X and Y anime, making her a much more engaging character overall, but Caleb just doesn't have any real factors tempting me to move him up the list. In 28th, we have May. May kind of has the same problem as Brendan. She's friendly and supportive, but the stakes never really feel high. Great character design though, and she's a nice contrast to the more aggressive rivals. And additionally, what put her higher on the list than Brendan is the fact that she was in the anime. The added background from the anime just makes her rank much higher on many fans' list, but the point stands that in-game, she just isn't much of a rival. In 19th, we have Serena. Serena from X and Y has slightly more presence than Callum, but still falls into that friendly competitor box. Solid design, but her personality is just calm. She never really does anything to drive you to want to defeat her, but like May, she benefits greatly from her role in the anime, which is what landed her slightly higher on this list compared to Callum. In 18th, we have Bianca. Bianca from Black and White is sweet and wholesome, but just not a major threat. Her character arc is nice, from the opening scene of her basically being disowned by her father in Black and White for wanting to be a Pokemon trainer, to then her giving you your starter in Pokemon Black and White 2. But in terms of pure rivalry, she's more cheerleader than competitor, and since she doesn't really care to become champion of the region, there's less drive to feel like I need to defeat her. Avery from Isle of Armor has the best passive-aggressive dialogue in the series. He's kind of funny and memorable, but again, he's just not a top-tier competitor, and I just didn't really feel a lot of connection to him as a character. Partially because he's only in the DLC and not the mainline game. If he was in a mainline game, he might rank higher because we'd have more time to flesh out his arc, but just as a DLC character, he just wasn't the best rival. In 16th, we have Hop. Hop in Sword and Shield is basically friendly enthusiasm personified. He's lovable, but the constant losing streak makes him feel like less of a rival and more like a practice dummy with a Wooloo. He's not a bad rival, but he's just not a great one. His energy is fun, and I did feel some motivation for wanting to battle him, but he kind of overdid it on the friendly aspect and forgot to feel like a real threat to my path to becoming champion. In 15th, we have Marnie. Marnie has style, a unique fan base, and a cool demeanor, but her actual rivalry with you is kind of low-key. She's more of a subplot than the main event, but her character is actually really interesting, and her design is one of the best on the entire list. Huge style points from Marnie, as well as her small but impactful role in the plot landed her at 15 on this list. In 14th, we have Barry. Barry in Diamond and Pearl is the perfect definition of an average rival. Not too bad, not too good, just kind of average all around. He's chaotic, fast-talking, and his biggest strength is that he is memorable, even if half his battles feel like speed bumps. While he didn't pose a major threat, his character actually made me feel somewhat excited when he would show up in the story, and I feel like Barry is just an enthusiastic rival done very well. In 13th, we have Charon. Charon from Black and White is calm, calculated, and driven to improve. He's a classic growth rival who actually gets stronger throughout the game. He's not the flashiest, but he's rock solid. Charon has to share the spotlight with Bianca throughout Black and White, but he still does a pretty good job establishing himself. His character is fun to battle against, and seeing him become a full-blown gym leader in Black and White 2 is very fun and makes his character much more memorable. His battles were always a good level of challenge for me, and since Univille is my first region, there may be some bias in his placing on this list. In number 12, we have our latest rival, Nemona. Nemona is actually too strong in Scarlet and Violet, but only in the lore. In game, she literally never uses her full power against you, which makes her much less threatening. She's like a Michelin star chef who only uses a microwave for half the story. She does her job as a rival to push you and motivate you to get better at battling, which I can definitely appreciate, but her character development could have been a much bigger part of the story. In 11th place, we have Bede. Bede in Sword and Shield starts out arrogant and condescending, then grows into one of the most interesting rivals in the series. Plus, he gets adopted by Opal, which is just peak Pokemon weirdness. Bede just delivers that quality that so many rivals lack, and that is W Rage Bait. This guy's arrogance and overall character at the beginning of the story are so annoying, and that's why he's so high on this list. His ability to motivate you to humiliate him is literally just uncanny. And to kick off our top 10, we have Carmine. Carmine from the Scarlet and Violet DLC is cocky, brash, and oozes personality from the second you meet her. She talks down to you, constantly underestimates you, and you just know she's the type to gloat after a win. What makes her stand out is that she actually feels like a throwback to older Pokemon rivals who didn't care about being your buddy. She just wants to beat you and make sure you know it. Her confidence is a double-edged sword though, because when you start winning, you can see the cracks forming in her pride, and honestly, it just makes the victories feel that much better. Carmine is the best modern rendition of a rival who does not want to be your friend, but suffers due to her only being in a DLC and not an entire mainline story. In 9th place, we have Hau. Hau from Sun and Moon is the ultimate chill rival. He's not even here to crush your dreams. He's here to eat malasadas and vibe. He's a friendly and supportive rival who literally always is smiling, but when the story ramps up, Hau does step up his game and shows that he can actually be a worthy opponent. He's a perfect fit for Alola's laid-back culture, so his easygoing attitude doesn't really feel out of place. And sure, while he's not the most intense rival, there's something refreshing about battling someone who's just having fun. I found his character enjoyable, and his champion battle in Ultra Sun Ultra Moon was very challenging, and I enjoyed it. And literally, bro, Alolan Raichu is the perfect Pokemon for this man. There's literally no better fit. Hau is remembered as an enjoyable and laid-back rival who had just enough challenge in him to land him within the top 10. And in 8th place, we have Wally. Wally in Hoenn is the definition of character growth. He starts off shy, frail, and unsure of himself, and honestly, you kind of feel protective over him, but then, out of nowhere, he comes back in Victory Road with a Mega Gallade and a determination that just catches you off guard. That battle in the Hoenn games is one of the most memorable in the entire series because it's not just about winning, it's about seeing how far he's come. Wally isn't in your face all the time, but when he shows up, he really makes it count. And while he may not motivate you to beat him, he takes a unique route compared to every other character on the list, and you feel like you're fighting your little brother that you helped raise. His growth throughout the story and his surprising strength in his late game battle make his character arc and battles extremely satisfying, landing him at number 8. In number 7, we have Gladion. Gladion from Sun and Moon has one of the best edgy designs in Pokemon history. Dark clothes, mysterious demeanor, and a Pokemon literally named Type Null. He starts off standoffish and distrustful, but you slowly learn about his complicated family life and his role in the Aether Foundation's mess. Gladion is the type of rival who means it when he says he wants to beat you, and his battles always felt like a real challenge. He's a perfect blend of cool factor and character depth and has an amazing development throughout the story that landed him at number 7. At number 6, we have one of my favorite characters in recent Pokemon history, Arven. While some might argue that Arven isn't a rival, I put him on the list anyways because I love this guy. Arven breaks the mold from Pokemon rivals because his story is more personal than competitive. He's not constantly challenging you for dominance. Instead, his focus is on the touching, sometimes heartbreaking journey involving his parents and his Mabosstiff. But that still doesn't mean he's just a pushover. By the time you battle him at Area Zero, his team is surprisingly tough, and it feels like he's grown alongside you. His storyline is the first storyline for a long time that actually carried a lot of weight for me in a Pokemon game. I was determined to get those sandwiches and heal his Mabosstiff as soon as possible in the game, and his character development was very enjoyable to watch progress throughout the story. Plus, any rival whose primary love language is making me food deserves some level of respect. And starting off our top 5, we have Hugh from Pokemon Black and White 2. His main drive is recovering his sister's stolen Purloin, and he never lets you forget it. Even like mid-battle, he's shouting about his mission. This makes him one of the most passionate and intense rivals in the entire series. He's not just battling for badges, he's battling for justice. He's a character who isn't only powered by his own ego or desire to become a champion, but to bring justice to his sister and fight for her. This makes his role in the story feel so much richer, and at least for me, really added to the experience of taking down Team Plasma in Black and White 2. And while his one-track mind can be a bit much, it also makes every interaction with him feel high stakes. And at number 4, we have Kieran. Kieran has one of the most satisfying arcs of any rival. Kieran is basically just a remastered version of Wally, but with a twist. He starts off shy, almost timid, looking up to you like a role model, but as events unfold, jealousy and frustration twist that admiration into determination and bitterness. By the end, Kieran has transformed into a genuine threat, both in skill and in attitude. His final battle actually feels like a high-stakes clash, and it is one of the most challenging mainline battles in a very long time. He's proof that Pokemon can pull off a slow burn character shift that pays off in a big way. And kicking off our top 3, we have the one and only Blue. Blue is the OG rival, and honestly still one of the best. From the moment you meet him, he's arrogant, smug, and constantly one step ahead. He does a fantastic job of actually making you want to beat him, and he's one of the only rivals who manages to beat you to the champion's title, which makes that final battle all the more satisfying. Blue's insults are literally iconic, and its constant presence keeps the rivalry alive throughout the entire game. If every rival had even half his energy, I swear every Pokemon game would genuinely just be better. He's an iconic rival who laid the foundation for everyone who followed and made playing through Kanto a special experience. His importance to the franchise cannot be understated, and for that, he lands at number 3. At number 2, we have Silver. Silver is literally one of the most iconic rivals of all time. He literally steals his starter Pokemon and spends most of the game acting like he's better than everyone else. But what makes Silver memorable is that he actually grows over time, slowly learning about trust, friendship, and the value of bonds between trainer and Pokemon. His arc feels more grounded and mature than most in the series, and battling him always has weight behind it. He took all the arrogance from Blue in Gen 1 and added more hostility and a criminal record to the list, and it worked. When you battled Silver, it truly felt not only rewarding because he was arrogant, but rewarding because each time he lost, it truly felt like you were helping his character grow and actually understand himself more and more. He's one of the few rivals that genuinely feel dangerous and the best rival when it comes to their story arc, landing him at number 2. And at number 1, we have one of the greatest characters in the entire series, N. This might be a crazy glaze, but N is genuinely just in a league of his own. He's not just a rival, he's a complex, philosophical antagonist whose beliefs directly oppose yours. He questions your right to train Pokemon at all, forcing you to think about the ethics behind the battles you've been enjoying for years. His battles are set to some of the best music in the entire franchise, and his role in the story elevates every encounter with him. N isn't just about winning or losing, he's about challenging your worldview. He carries a level of arrogance that drives you to beat him, paired with an intellectual superiority that most rivals simply don't have. He makes you think deeply about the philosophy of Pokemon battles and the bond between trainer and Pokemon. And his connection to Team Plasma, being raised by Getsis, manipulated his entire life, and taught to believe humans and Pokemon shouldn't coexist, gives him a tragic depth that's really rare for this series. Watching him slowly realize the truth, reject his father's control, and ultimately fight alongside you is one of the most captivating story arcs in any Pokemon game. N's combination of compelling ideology, personal growth, and unforgettable presence cements him as the greatest rival in Pokemon history. And that's my ranking of every Pokemon rival from worst to best. Whether you agree with my list or think I'm completely wrong for putting your favorite lower, I'd love to hear your rankings down in the comments. Your picks might even change my mind. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more Pokemon rankings and deep dives, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thank you for watching, have an amazing day, and remember, Jesus loves you. I'll see you all next time.